Hello everybody, how's it going? This is Ketchup here once again, and Mortal Kombat 1 has just received a significant balance patch. It hit last night, the inclusion of Ermac, some major buffs, some rather important nerfs, and for today's video, a massive upgrade to Rain, who has always been one of my favourite characters in this game. If you've watched since the game first came out, he was the first character I really sat and learned properly. Now, with this balance patch, Rain has received many new changes, not just a few small buffs, those that have drastically improved and kind of changed how this character can be played. So this video really aims to be more of a one-stop shop on everything that you need to know about what has been changed about this character. I've got a list in front of me, we're going to go through it, and I'm going to talk about the new possibilities. First of all, let's talk about the fact that the back forward 1 dash cancel has been improved. So Rain is able to hold and charge his back forward 1. You can cancel it. This is nothing new. He's always been able to do this. However, it's basically been sped up, for lack of a better term, which has given him a lot of new possibilities. The first thing to point out is that while holding this, you can now cancel into other special moves. So down back 3, down back 2, you can do down down up. Any kind of special that Rain has here, you can cancel out of it while charging up your back forward 1. You can even do it with armored moves, even though my timing on it isn't so great. You can do your armored reversal from that as well. Not the kind of thing you're going to use all the time, but it is there, and it's better than what it was before, essentially. The big change to this is being able to cancel out of this to extend various combos. I'll talk about that a little bit more shortly. However, the short of it is various strings now you can dash cancel out of and actually extend meterlessly into something else. This is a massive improvement, but an improvement that I'm going to touch on in a little bit. Okay, up next, he's been given 2 new moves. He's been given 2 new combo strings that have their own different sections. The first one is forward 1. This is an advancing mid. It's safe on block, and forward 1-2 is the second hit of this, and again, forward 1-2 is safe on block. If we look at the frame data, forward 1 is -7, and forward 1-2 is -6. So a couple of characters might punish you, like a Liu Kang standing 1, a Li Mei flip kick, but against the majority of the cast, you are not getting punished for either of these 2 options, and considering it's an advancing mid that can be special cancelled, this is a decent tool to have. One thing to keep in mind is that by trying to dash in standing 1, which Rain has always been able to do, you want to watch out for that. Get comfortable with your inputs to make sure that you're not accidentally getting a forward 1. It's not the end of the world, it's not unsafe, but if you want to do dash in 1-1, you might accidentally get forward 1. So try and make sure your inputs there are nice and clean. Secondly, he's been given a more impactful new string, back 3-4. This string existed in Mortal Kombat 11 with Rain. It's been straight up just given to him in this game, and it works really well. It gives him something vital that he didn't have before, whiff punishment. If someone whiffs a button near you, forward 2 was kind of all you had before, and it's stubby, it's short range, it's not going to whiff punish anything, and it hasn't been for months. The back 3 is fast, and it advances forward. The reason this is a big deal is because back 3-4, while this string is unsafe and the second hit is a high, it's a launcher. You can get full combos now off a whiff punish that Rain could not do previously. If my opponent sticks out a button now, a simple back 3-4 into whatever I want allows me to do it. Now, it's not a completely free launch. It takes a little bit before you can press a button, as you can see. It's kind of right as they hit his head height, I suppose. So you're not going to get like big launches, big jump juggles and stuff like that. You will with certain cameos, but on its own, you can even do, forward 1 or forward 2 into Geisha. If you're close enough, you can do 2-1-1 into whatever you want. So that's a really nice way to get some extra damage. One thing to keep in mind is that should this move connect at max distance, certain things can still miss. This works at that range, but if I'm even further away, that works. But if you're at the absolute highest point, sometimes this will whiff. It might be character specific, it might not be, but I have had instances where I've hit the back 3-4 really far away, and this string here has actually whiffed. So you want to keep the space in mind when performing it, but there are so many layers to why this is insane, and we're about to start talking about it. Okay, so some of his strings have been improved, and there is a substantial reason that is the case. Forward 2-1 now has more cancel advantage, and that's important for a moment I'll quickly talk about. Forward 2-1-3, this comes out 5 frames faster, so it's a little bit harder for them to challenge. This is probably the least noticeable of the changes, I would say. But the extra cancel advantage on forward 2-1 means that certain combos before are now possible. Forward 2-1 into net in the corner will now work with the Cyrax cameo. And that's just to demonstrate a long startup move that forward 2-1 will actually now let you combo from. This didn't work before. It is the change to the string that allows this to now work. And, importantly, an improvement has been made to 2-1-1, particularly the first hit, where now you can do dash cancels into 1-1. Had to quickly get the timing there. I'm still pretty new to this new strategy, so bear with me when it comes to execution. But all of these improvements to his strings, whether it's cancel advantage, whether it's having a little bit more active frames, a bit more hit stun maybe, various changes have happened with some of these attacks, and the reason all of it matters and it works in perfect harmony is the fact that Rain truly has dash cancel pressure and combos from them. Being able to have an improved back forward 1 dash cancel has completely changed around how Rain can be played at close range. And this is where the rest of the video is going to lie, because this is the absolute bulk of why this character is so insane now. So let's start this section by just talking about combos that are now possible. Should you hit 2-1-1, dash cancel 1-1, launcher. You have time to see that something has landed and you can finish the job. 2-1-1, dash cancel. 1-1-4, whatever you want really. The 2-1-1 hits quite regularly with Rain, because if they block this and they try and mash, eating the 2-1-1, there's kind of like a built-in option select there. Quite a few Rain players know what I'm talking about, that they'll block like this attack, for example, and then they will challenge and eat this section. If this hits, you now have a combo extender rather than having to just immediately commit to meter and then get a full combo. I mean, you could always do this, but now you have a meterless option, which can work wonderfully with various cameos. This is just a taste of the cancels though, because there are 2 other strings that give significant cancel advantage, one of which being forward 2-1. You can dash cancel this, and although it pushes them far away, if I try and do forward 2-1 again, you'll notice they're pretty far away. The same thing will happen if I try and 1-1. Looks kind of rubbish. I mean, yeah, I can dash cancel, but the opponent's been knocked too far away to capitalize. That's where the back 3 comes into play, because this new string, with this, all of a sudden, combos. Meterless combos, and that's just a basic example. The back 3 being as fast as it is, having the range it does, and the fact that it's a launcher, means that if I hit forward 2-1, dash cancel, back 3-4, you gotta get the timing in your head. It takes a while, but you get used to it. Meterless combo potential on its own. So, forward 2-1, that is your close range mid, right? And that can blow people up for pressing a button. It can function as a decent damage punisher. Your old combos used to be just forward 2-1, launch. Or if you have a cameo, forward 2-1, maybe some kind of stun or whatever it is you want to do. But it used to be only EX launcher, right? And then you do whatever you want after this. Having the dash cancels means that you now have a lot more options. You have more creativity. Now, it's not an easy link, you know, I must say. It takes a little bit to get used to. But once you get the timing down, you will notice all of a sudden my combo potential has just completely erupted. And it's a combination of the fact that you can dash cancel forward 2-1, and it's the fact that he has this new string, back 3-4. So they work wonderfully together to obtain absolutely fantastic damage. And the final string I want to talk about with dash cancel advantage is the back 3 standalone. The cancel advantage of back 3 is 50. What that means is back 3 Cyrax net, and again, this is just an example because the Cyrax net is exceptionally slow and most characters can't combo into this. Back 3 net works, which means that any cancel you want will work from this. Doesn't matter what it is. If it is within that reasonable startup time, or even on the slower side, all of a sudden, Now we can combo. And when I'm talking about cancel advantage, back 3 cancel, back 3 net, we get a cancelable, hit confirmable, full combo stun. Again, this can work off various things. You can just do back 3 dash cancel, back 3 4 if you wish. There's nothing stopping you from keeping it simple, but with the right cameo pairing, now back 3 not only being fast, having good range, and being a launcher by itself, now you can cancel and get even more opportunities. And this is the single thing that has totally flipped on its head how this character can be played. All of a sudden, Rain is now much more dangerous at range. He's much more dangerous up close. He's much more dangerous everywhere, because once he lands a hit, whether it's blocked or not, we can dash cancel. We can stay safe. We can maybe bait an opponent's button, because should an opponent try and press a button, a backdash into back 3, all of a sudden you have a ranged whiff punisher. You know, if someone tries to mash a down 1, someone tries to mash a standing 1, you now have this advancing dash cancelable option that gives you a full combo. Back 3, for example, into forward 2. This works, and again, it won't be tied to cameo, so should you land this into forward 2-1, again, you got to get the timing. You got to have a pretty decent dash on the end of that, but the cancel advantage of this is really high. So you can run in and get a forward 2 a little bit later than you think you can. Standing 2 will whiff because we're not at the right range, but a forward 2 will do the job just fine. So all of these things together, Rain now has options to do cancel, 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 you know, whatever cancels you want to go for. Now, they're not going to be plus. You're not going to be able to do things like forward 1-2, dash cancel, and then boom, I can press another button. That's not how this is going to work. What it is going to do is just open up a mind game similar to what Ermac's doing. Ermac has a lot of dash cancels right now, that if you try and do something here and they mash down 1, you can now whiff punish them. Stick out this button. Should this land, full combo. And this is where I want to finish the video, because you'll notice I'm playing with the Cyrax cameo. There are new possibilities with Cyrax, and this isn't to say, hey, Cyrax is the best cameo pairing for Rain. This is just to show that there's new potential with this pair. Take that idea, maybe apply it to some other cameos and kind of see what you're doing. But for now, I want to talk about Cyrax and Rain, because this team is cooking. So from this point, I want to talk about some combo potential, and yeah, I have Cyrax. Cyrax gives you some sick stuff at the moment, and a huge part of it comes down to comboing into net. I want to show you some mid-screen stuff, some corner stuff. Let's start by talking about the mid-screen. Should I land a confirm? We can do stuff like this now. Setups mid-screen. Those setups work in the corner as well. It's a different execution, but using the long stun time of net gives us a few options. If you want to just go for meterless damage, you can do this. All of a sudden, we're getting 360 for no meter. This also works off of your back 3. And let's say you caught your opponent whiffing a string, mashing a low poke or something, the back 3 gives you some pretty decent damage. And the important thing about comboing into net with Cyrax is that there truthfully is no reason not to do it. I mean, if you look at the top left of your screen, I'm going to do this combo. By the time my combo is over, we pretty much have regenerated the entire cameo bar that the net was used for in the first place. So, may as well do it, drain the opponent's meter, get some decent meterless damage, and that combo does more than if I were to just do something simple like that. for example. That's the cameo-less version that's a really simple start. The second you start to throw other stuns on board, you can get more options. And the same can be said with even something more traditional, like a Sub-Zero cameo. You can do the exact same kind of thing, maybe a little bit less setup. I'll let that experimentation be up to you. However, let's talk about corner. The corner is where we start to party extremely hard. There is no longer any pushback when the forward 2-1 hits, which means that forward 2-1 will dash cancel into itself, like so. The long stun time with Rain and the Cyrax means that you can whiff a whole bunch of your down back 2s to build meter. So if I land any kind of hit here, forward 2-1 net, we can do 5. And still combo. Mistimed my setup, of course, but that would have gone into the stun, into either a combo ender, it could have gone into setup. Let's try that again. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the classic setup exists from that. It's only less than a day old, so I'm still kind of getting used to these combos, some of these conversions. Not really as challenging as it looks. If you are familiar with playing Rain, I think these will come to you quite naturally. But it's kind of just putting the two things together. The fact that we can now do a cancel into these kind of basic combos if we wish, but because of the extra cancel advantage, we can even do back 3, cancel, back 3. And that works. You just simply get more damage from your forward 2-1 in the corner. So the forward 2-1 is always the preferred option. You can keep this meterless if you want as well. There's nothing that says you have to spend meter on this. I mean, obviously the meter combos will do more damage. By the way, by the end of that combo, look at how much meter I've built. I spent nothing on that. I started with 2 bars of meter, and now I have 3/4, maybe even more, filled up. So being able to take their meter and build a good amount on my own is pretty dangerous, especially seeing as with Cyrax, should you land a forward throw and have 2 bars, you can meter burn your throw, right? So you can get all sorts of situations. The more meter you have, the more dangerous situations you can create. Whether it's combo, whether it's setup, again, the choice really is yours, but it is the creativity that Cyrax gives you. And this isn't, again, to say that this is the greatest cameo. I think it's up there with Rain now because of all these different changes, but there's just so many options, even down to the combos. Yeah, we get a forward throw for 2 bars, everyone knows that with Cyrax, but if we're playing as Rain, let's not forget, if you time this right, which I haven't done in some time, you can even get a throw combo with Cyrax. If you time that correctly, you can get about 200 damage for a side-switching throw. So that's something that is almost day one. Everyone was doing that when we saw Rain and Cyrax played competitively. None of that has changed. The only thing that's different is the fact that, obviously, the horizontal chopper was the thing that was hit the most. You'd do forward 2-1 chopper, charge, and then, you know, get these combos. They were really useful to get these extra extenders, but the thing is, you don't need that anymore. Because, yeah, I mean, I know we were seeing things like, you know, the armored reversal into chopper, like that was something that Cyrax players were doing. You're not going to have that the same way anymore. But if I hit like a forward 2-1 now, I mean, I'm just going to get a full combo for it now, and we're just going to add to that. And let's not forget, if you can have good combos from your grabs, the sort of Kara throw situation that Rain has, where you do forward 3 into grab, this automatically becomes way stronger if Rain can combo grab off both directions. So that changes the character quite a lot as well. It's just all the basic Cyrax stuff is exactly the same here, only now you can get a lot more than you could before. Because we can cancel, we can do net, we can go for whatever kind of combo you want. We can set up, we can grab him into it if we want. Boom! Didn't have my Cyrax ready, of course, but you get the idea. But overall, this is just a video talking about the potential, the possibilities, some of the new combos, and more food for thought, I would say, over some of the cameos that have made a bit of a return for Rain. I demonstrated it with Cyrax, but there are other cameos you can use as well. I've tested things with Janet Cage, I've tested it with Sub-Zero. A lot of the stuff that works before all works, it's just now you have way better up-close pressure. And that is where the character is now going to lie. We're going to see a lot more of that rushdown, and I cannot wait to see what Rain mains are going to do with this character. Thank you so much for watching. There is so much more to go over. I haven't even touched Shujinko yet on this channel since he's been buffed up, so rest assured I'll be talking about him. And I mean, Ermac is out, so we're going to be talking about some Ermac as well. Hopefully this was interesting to you. Thank you so much for checking this out, and I will see you next time. Take care.